Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a nice episode today of High School Sportsline. I am Frank Wolf from WNYathletics.com. Hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed Coach's Corner. The last two segments that Tom Brintz did were just sensational. So continue watching that Coach's Corner as well. Sportsline. Today I've got Pete Hudecki from St. Joe's, the lacrosse coach over there, doing a fantastic job for the Marauders. We're going to talk to him for just a little bit. College commitments that have come across my desk in the last 48 hours, half a week or so. Maya Klein of Holland, she'll be taking her basketball talent to Malone College of Ohio, a D2 school over there. Congratulations to her and the Klein family. Connor Mahoney's going to stick around here in Buffalo. He's going to Buff State to play football there. Zach Wolfer from Franklinville, Ellicottville, he's heading to Alfred University. Teddy Tomasello, a track star at Iroquois, he's also going to Buff State. Samantha Hare from Mount St. Mary's. She's going to play softball at Niagara University. Congratulations, Sam. And Sabrina Lewinsky, lacrosse from West Seneca. She is also going to Buff State. So congratulations to those high school athletes on a fine high school career and making that ultimate decision to play at the next level. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Without further ado, let's get into my interview with Pete Hudecki. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WNY Athletics Sportsline. I've got Coach Pete Hudecki with me from St. Joe's. You know him well, and I wanted to catch up with Pete and just to see what's going on with the lacrosse program out there at Joe's. I know they were looking to have another very, very big season. Things kind of got derailed with the whole COVID. So I want to see how Coach Hudecki was handling things with that program and how much this has sidelined him, at least for the spring, and then what it does to his other organizations that he runs with regards to lacrosse. So, Coach, thanks for spending just a little bit of time with me today. I appreciate it.
Definitely. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. How are you? How you feeling?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Just, huddle up here with the fam, got the daddy duty in the morning, doing the schoolwork and all that. And then the afternoon, we find ways to entertain ourselves.
Coach Pete Hudecki is a 92 grad of St. Joe's. How long have you been the lacrosse coach there for now?
I started in 99 as an assistant on the varsity, and then I coached all the way through. I did take a 2-year break to get my master's in 04 and 05. So that was kind of like a little speed bump because we had things going pretty good. And then when I left, the program went I think the 1 year they went 1-14 or something like that. And it was tough to build it back up. So I got back in 06, and I've been coaching since.
Out of all that time, what is the best team you've ever coached? And if you don't mind me asking, the best team you've ever coached, number one, but who'd you have the most fun with, number two?
I think last year's team was definitely the best team we've had. And
Okay.
It just incrementally gets better each year for us. Last year we went 19-2. We lost to Culver, who was number one in the nation, and we lost to Iona Prep in the state Catholic championship. And that team was incredible. I mean, all the parents named them the comeback kids because we would. I'd say one of our defining games was against Elysianum, who was number one in Delaware, and they came to us to play. We played them there last year or 2 years ago and lost to them in the last seconds of the game in Delaware, and then they came to us, and we were down 7-3 at halftime, and they were just dominating us everywhere. And we had a nice little pep talk at halftime, and we came back out and we left scoreless in the second half, and we scored I think it was 10 unanswered goals. So from that game on, it was just boom, I don't think the kids ever thought that they couldn't lose a game. And when you got a group of guys that feel that way together from top to bottom, it was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
They really worked hard.
Coach, I'm ignorant when it comes to the sport of lacrosse. I don't know much about it. I do watch it. Wouldn't say I follow it closely, but I definitely watch it. But I do know down in the Mid-Atlantic that lacrosse is another way of life.
Yeah.
We gather in bars for a football game on a Sunday. They do the same for lacrosse games. But I own a prep. I mean, there's another different culture, different lacrosse culture. Do you see that creeping in here in Western New York in recent years?
It's definitely getting bigger, especially with the addition of a lot of public school, high schools jumping in. I know Tonawanda was going to start this year for the first time. Depew just recently started. So it's getting bigger. I've heard rumors that Cheektowaga wants to get a team. Star Point wants to get a team. So, I mean, the bigger the sport gets, obviously, and the more people that are playing, the more competitive it'll be. And, hopefully we'll be able to compete with those big dogs all the time,
Talk about going down to Long Island or other parts of this state where lacrosse is a way of life.
Yeah, I mean, when you go down there, like you said, you go down there on a Friday and people are sitting around at the bar and they're not watching basketball, they're not watching football, they're watching a lacrosse game, and those guys are playing all the time, high end. There's a Team 91. All the high end travel teams come from that area as well. Team 91 is a really well known travel program made up of mostly the Catholic school kids over there, Chaminade and St. Anthony's kids. So, yeah, it's a whole different culture.
When did you first start to really embrace this game? At about what age? And why you fell in love with this one sport?
My story is kind of funny. It's I played a little bit in high school. We didn't have it at St. Joe's at the time, but you play around with it. And I was mostly a football guy. I was going to get recruited for football. And I had an injury my senior year, and I kind of, felt like not doing football anymore. So I ended up going to West Virginia University. I wanted to go to a big school, and I ended up playing club lacrosse there, and I fell in love with it. I ended up my college coach, Jeff Dreisbach at West Virginia. Him and I started the second lacrosse team in the state of West Virginia at University High School. I coached there for a year, and then I moved back to Buffalo, and I went up to Joe Wolf, and I said, Joe, I'd love to coach here. What do you need? And he's like, well, what can you do? And he's like, I need a football coach. I'm like, done. So I did football with Dennis Gilbert, and then he's like, well, you played lacrosse in college? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, we need a lacrosse coach. I was like, done. So, and it just started from there.
We'll go back to lacrosse in a second, but just talk about some funny football stories over the years, if you don't mind. And maybe some of the more memorable players. And I do have to ask, did you give any consideration to taking, or at least putting your name in for the football job when it became available this past winter? I got to ask you. I got to ask you.
I know you do. Really, I didn't. Way early in my career, I was doing like 3 varsity sports, and I was refereeing basketball, and my wife, tolerated me through all that. And as I move on in my older age, I just want to focus on lacrosse right now.
Okay.
And do the best I can for that program, and kind of just, I'm doing cross country in the city. I'm doing a little in the winter. I was going to do basketball, but I was like, no, I'm not doing it because I can't put my wife.
You had a good run at South Park as the basketball coach there.
I did. It was the times that were fun. The times that weren't. So that was a tough job, but it had a lot of really gratifying moments. But if I want to stay married, I'm not taking that job. So I'll just put it at that.
Well, that's good. You're at Joe's, and you've taken that program to another level, it seems, each and every year. They just seem to get better. Why don't we talk about some of the players that have come out of your program, maybe not in recent years. I'm talking 5 years ago, 6 years ago, that are playing at a high level now.
You got Carter Stefaniak. He's over at Canisius. He, unfortunately, is one of those 2020 seniors that is not able to finish his season. Carter was a captain on the team. Really proud of him. He put a great 4 years in that program. He's going to do great things. He's actually going to come back and coach with us in the spring of next year. So I'm very excited to have him. He's really good, great kid. He's awesome with the kids. Right now we got CJ Goss is also at Canisius. He was doing a great job. He just came off an injury right before this thing started happening. Couple guys that were like just about to get chances, which I really feel bad for. Like Evan Mulderry was an attackman for us last year. He's at Seton Hill. They were just going to move him to midfield, and he was going to be part of the regular crew right before this. They were supposed to actually play on the Saturday before everything got shut down against Mercyhurst. and I was going to go to that game because they got 3 guys on Seton Hill. Sam Latour's playing regularly for them.
I kept seeing in your tweets that, guys were going to Seton Hill just the last year alone.
Yeah. I ended up the coach at Seton Hill was actually following our guys a lot last year. And we got a good rapport with the Seton Hill coaches. They actually came in scrimmage and actually played a game at St. Joe's. They played Lemoyne 2 years ago at our field in March. I feel bad for like Kellen Polera, another guy. He was at Marist. He was now getting playing time. He got his first Division I NCAA goal, and I was excited for him. And then all of a sudden, everything gets cut short. It's just going to make these guys a little bit hungrier, I hope, and it's going to be tough in the whole recruiting scene. People don't understand the impact of like giving everyone one more year of eligibility for NCAA because it's more than that. It's financially, like, where's all the money going to go now?
Yeah.
The 2021 class that's coming out now or in the next year, they're going to really have to work hard to find a spot.
Certainly.
Because with all the transfers, there's a ton of kids entering the transfer portal every day. With the seniors coming back, all those different things, it's going to be tough for these guys to find a spot. And then the ripple effect, the 22s might get affected a little bit, and the 23 should be fine. I shouldn't see any worry about that. But
yeah, this will have like you said, a ripple effect on the incoming classes. Your team in particular, heading into this spring, we've heard a lot about a number of players, but why don't you just tell us what your prospects were for this season, and who was destined for a breakout season? We know about McGorry, one of your better players. We know about him, but some of these other guys that we may not have heard of that were destined for a breakout season.
Well, I got 3 guys I think we're going to have breakout seasons. One in particular is Brian Nephew.
Okay.
Brian's been was on varsity last year as a sophomore. He saw the field a bit, but not as much as I'm sure he would like to. Now that I reflect back, that I would have liked to. I'd like to put him in more. But he came on this whole off season, worked his butt off. He went to every tournament we went to. He came to every practice, went to every skill clinic, and he came into the season. That first week of practice, he was looking awesome. And I just was like, wow. We were at the RIT tournament in the fall or in the winter, and he was throwing these passes that were just incredible. And I was just like, wow. And then with the addition of these Julian Race and Maverick Gatt, who came from St. Catharines, up in Canada, those guys moved the ball so well. The 3 of them were just bing, bang, boom. It was amazing. Julian played for the Team Ontario Box, represented Team Ontario for Box up in Canada. He's a midfielder. He's a 21 as well. He's coming up from the St. Catharines Athletics Box program. And Maverick Gatt, he's a 21 lefty attacker. He's coming from the St. Catharines Athletics Box program as well. And those 3 guys, I think, we're going to have a huge year.
Talk about some of the guys that were leaving the program that were going to get one more year in. Whoever comes to mind, and where they are going to play at the next level. So
my senior guys?
Yeah.
Oh, so you got Hunter and Robbie. Hunter Peruki, he's going to Canisius. Hunter he's been starting for us since a freshman year. He played varsity as an 8th grader in Lancaster. Very high IQ, great passer. It would have been great to see all 4 of those guys banging the ball around. It's just so depressing thinking about it. I just can't. The other day, my wife was like, "Stop watching lacrosse. You're getting depressed." And I'm like, I get it, but I'd have to, it's like something to fuel the soul, kind of, in a way,
Yeah.
You got Robbie Martin. He's going to Canisius. Trey Guillen, he's going to Quinnipiac. And then Ryan McGorry is going to Loyola, obviously. Yeah. And then Ethan Goss is going to Mercyhurst. Ethan's a defender for us. Trey was our lefty attacker. And then we had one guy that actually left last year after our year last year, which was Kyle Gonzorek. He actually was offered a scholarship to go to Salisbury. So he got a very nice financial aid package to go to Salisbury Prep School, and he's going to be at Syracuse the year after that.
Wow.
So he's a
Salisbury,
kid
is that Salisbury, Maryland?
No, Salisbury Prep is out in Connecticut.
Okay.
So it's a prep school. There's a bunch of prep schools for lacrosse that, if you're looking, so like Ryan McGorry, he's going to Salisbury before he goes to Loyola for a year. All right. So you have a number of them, IMG, the Hill Academy, all those different schools. But yeah, I mean, and then we have a ton of young talent, like young talent. We have a really good freshman class that came in. We got Tyler Smart, Liam Clark, the Gallo twins, one Blake and Evan, one plays goalie, one is a midfielder. Noah Snyder is a excellent attackman. And then we got a couple middle, sophomores and juniors. Tommy Cunningham's a goalie, Ben Housley, or Housel, I always do that. And then Aiden Cusack. We got a bunch, we got a bunch of young guys that are hungry, and it just sucks that you can't see that what their year would have done. This progression, you're missing out on all that learning and all that lacrosse IQ building, So there's a couple of things actually we're going to do to try to circumvent this if we can. I already got approval from Brian. We're going to do a fall league on Saturdays and Sundays at St. Joe's. On Saturdays, they'll be in the afternoon, like from 2 to 6 or something like that, whenever football's over. And then on Sundays, it'll be based on when the soccer schedule is. And we're going to invite any team in Western New York that wants to play in this league so these kids can play together and get some film. The biggest thing that these guys are going to be missing is the film that they're going to be able to send to the coaches of them trying to get recruited, because what happens if this summer doesn't happen? If there isn't a summer recruiting season, I mean, those kids are going to – fall is going to be huge. Absolutely. So we want to do this Saturday, Sunday league. Brian did a great job, and he has one of those huddle cameras that just picks up motion and films it. So we're going to play the games on the field there. If a kid wants a copy of the film, I'm going to film every game. If a kid wants a copy of the film, I'm going to burn him a disc. Here you go. So he has film, to send out to coaches that he wasn't able to produce for this spring. And then if the summer doesn't happen, then this summer, they'll have that ability. And then the other thing we're trying to put together is a fall prospect day sometime in October on a Sunday, and just have any kid that wants to sign up, come play. We'll put you on a team, invite a bunch of college coaches there so they can get their looks that they didn't get, in case this thing goes all the way through the summer and we don't have a summer recruiting,
That showcase would be huge.
Yeah. So we're going to try to do some things to circumvent this stall.
Do they have a showcase in Western New York for lacrosse players right now as it is?
There's a tournament in Niagara Falls over by up in Lewiston, the park up there. There's a big tournament, and they do have like a showcase day before it, but it's not for Western New York. I mean, Western New York kids could sign up for it, but this is going to be something. I think we need to have something like this. You know how they have for the football, they have it at the Bill Stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to have something like this to get our kids out there, because I mean, if you go, you're not going to see a bunch of college coaches showing up at high school games here. We fortunately have a bunch of college guys who come to our games occasionally, but it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
You're in Long Island or you're in Maryland, there are college coaches showing up all the time. We need to bring guys here.
Now, if you're running a showcase, do you want to put them in game action, or do you want to run them through specific drills and then put them on teams? How do you work? What's the best way to work that to get that film on those kids?
Frank, I love that question. I think at the beginning we just keep it simple and just run them through games. And then as this thing gets bigger, I would love to break it down into game. And then when you're not playing a game, you're over here running drills. And so these guys can see you in action. I'd even love it, like, if we can get get the college coaches to come in and they kind of run the clinic part, and now they can coach the kids and see how they respond to coaching.
That's perfect.
But
that's
like getting to that will take time, but we need to get everyone in Western New York to, buy into this and get after it.
What do you think the biggest stumbling block to that is? Is it just getting people on board to do it, or putting their egos aside and letting it happen?
Frank, that's a great question. I'm going to have to think about that one for a while and answer that one when we're done.
I hear you. We'll have that. We'll have that discussion over a beer.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I honestly, Pete, I think it's long overdue. I mean, I'm not a student of the game. It's not my favorite. but it doesn't mean.
But you know what's going on.
I want to support it. I want to support it 100%, and I want to get behind that. I want to get behind that showcase day. We definitely like to be a part of it and join up with you.
We'd love to have you, man. We'd love to have you.
So what I'd like to do this week is talk to another coach from Section 6. Probably bring in Ed Greenway. I'd love to have him in. But from the Monsignor Martin side of things, it's easy to talk to you, so I like talking to you. Who else from around the Monsignor Martin leagues do you notice or could have had really, really good seasons this year outside of St. Joe's?
Well, St. Francis was returning a lot of good players, and they had a lot of players that were coming in. Mike Burke is not at that program anymore, but he did recruit for a couple of years over there, and Mike's a really good recruiter, so he had a good number of kids over there. They were good lacrosse players, and I think they would have had a good season this year. There's a number of players over there. There was Andrew Bigelow, who's a defenseman, really big kid. They have a really good young class too there, you know what I mean? And they have depth, so that I think they would have had a decent year. Canisius is coming back. They have a couple of really good players over there. One of their players is going to Robert Morris. They could actually put some things together as well. Nichols is kind of in a rebuilding year, but then again, they got Coach Burke over there helping them out. So, who knows how long rebuilding will take,
I know you work with a lot of the boys. Do you know of any of the female athletes, lacrosse players, maybe not necessarily Monsignor Martin, but do you come across any of the girls that were playing at an extremely high level?
Back in my younger years, I was really in touch with that because I was in the U.S. lacrosse board locally, working with Beth Stone. Beth Stone would be your best resource for who knows what in lacrosse. Also, the Mount St. Mary's coach. You also have Jimmy Formato and Caitlin Formato, who's over at Canisius College, and they are actually locals from Lancaster as well. And they're a good resource for who's good around here as well.
Good. Well, Coach, obviously I'd much rather see you on the field doing your thing and coaching and just raising these young men. That's what you do best. It's unfortunate, but, we're obviously going to get through this one way or another. And, before you know it, you'll be having that showcase and we'll be right there with you.
Man, you saying that today makes me even more excited about it. I'll be working on that all day today.
Your wife might be sending me some nasty emails if you're watching lacrosse all day long because of this. But...
Listen, man, I got my daddy do list done. Okay, I'm good today.
And it's only 12:30.
I know. There's not a lot of sleeping going on around here, man.
I love talking to you, Pete. Easy to talk to, and hopefully you guys are staying healthy. And if there's anything we can do, just don't be afraid to send me a message. We'll work on a few things, but best of luck to what's going on over there at St. Joe's. You guys are really doing a good job, and it's nice having an AD that is a lacrosse guy as well, of course.
That does not hurt. Brian's a great guy, man.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. So that's another episode in the books for WNY High School Sportsline, and man, I promise more than I know. What am I getting myself into again with Pete? But it's all good. Anything we can do to help the program, showcase, just let me know. We'll definitely put our best foot forward and see if we can't rally some troops and do what we can to help you make your event even more successful. So that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Helping the kids and you. Camden Palmentier, I want to wish you a happy birthday, son. Hope everything is good down there. Keep it rolling. If you have a birthday, someone needs a shout out, let me know. But I did see that it was Camden's birthday. I want to make sure that young man knows that I'm thinking about him today. 27 years old. Get a job, kid. Just kidding. But seriously, everyone out there, the rest of the week, Tuesday, tomorrow, I got to think about this. Oh, no, I don't. Lauren Muchika from Mount St. Mary's, Kyrie Demos from the Niagara Gazette. On Wednesday, we're doing our basketball show, girls basketball, postseason, roundtable discussion, just like we did with boys. So the first one will be a bunch of different coaches. And I know Anthony Adamano from St. Mary's of Lancaster, Nick O'Neill from O'Hara, Brian Baker from Wilson, Christian Regwin from Grand Island. I've got calls out to a few others to see who wants to join us. Chris Durr, the chairman, and then media-related guys will be in the next one, where Miguel Rodriguez will be involved, and hopefully Matt Spielman from the Post-Journal, and probably Tom Prince, who did a number of games for us as well. So it should be another exciting week. Mary Margaret Johnson is supposed to be in on Thursday. So things are looking good. Things are looking good so far. The schedule is filling up with a lot of great guests. Western New York High School Sports, we miss you, but we're going to keep on talking high school sports throughout this whole deal and figure out what's to come in the next couple of weeks. But stay indoors if you can. Do the best you can to stay healthy. Stay safe. Be safe.